All right, well, I guess we'll go ahead and we'll go into our final topic or our final act of the show. So this is something that we've actually been doing for the past 2 episodes. It was our multi-part topic that we've been doing, and this is going to be our final conclusion to the topic. Pretty epic. But it's our E3 prediction series, and today we'll be covering part 3 of 3, and that's our Sony E3 2015 predictions, what we think Sony is going to be bringing to the table in their conference. So for reference, just so you guys know, Sony's conference is happening on Monday, June 15th, and it's going to be happening at nighttime. I don't know the international time. I know for EST, for Eastern Standard, it's going to be at 9:30 p.m., so it's going to be a pretty late conference, and they're actually going to be the last one that's going to be happening on Monday, June 15th. But
it's going to be, I think it's 2:40 in the UK at night.
God, that's crazy.
Yeah, I remember last year staying up for it. Like, I was just sitting there in the living room like, oh my god.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be up for this one. I'm like an old man. I usually go to sleep like at 10 now or 10:30, so I'm definitely gonna be up for this without a doubt. I'm actually my sleeping habits are gonna be horrible for like the next week. For like the first 3 days, they're gonna be god awful. But anyway, so we wanted to push this forward, and we wanted to kind of talk about this for a little bit and give our predictions and our thoughts on Sony. I'm gonna say straight up, I usually have a game that I'm looking forward to, like a big game. I'm hoping they're gonna showcase. Like I know for Nintendo, I mentioned Star Fox. For Microsoft, I mentioned Halo 5. For Sony, I don't have anything. I just wanted to bring that to the forefront right now. There is not any particular game that I'm looking forward to, but at the same time, Sony's conference is probably, of all the conferences, the one I'm the most interested in. And that's because it's a really unique conference because they could announce anything. Like, we really don't know where Sony's heading this year, aside from them needing to rely heavily on third-party support. And, admittedly, with all the other conferences, we don't really know what they're going to announce, but we have an idea of what they might announce. Sony's conference, I legitimately can predict things, but we don't know for sure. And because of that, it's immediately the conference I'm the most looking forward to at this E3.
Yeah, I mean, Sony's always been more of putting on a show. They love putting on a show.
Oh, yeah.
Their E3 conferences are known for being long and tiring because they are putting on a show. I don't know.
They want to drop that mic,
They do want to drop that mic. They want to drop everything, don't they? But I do have big things for Sony this E3. They have a lot to live up to. They have sold 20 million PS4s, yet a lot of people don't have much to play on them.
Yeah.
I know that Bloodborne's come out, which is a big hit and everything else, but it's still lacking the real venom of their first-party studios. Mm-hmm. So it'll be a big conference for them. I don't think the PlayStation 4 is going to receive a price cut. No chance in hell. I wouldn't see any chance in doing it unless they announce the terabyte model that Microsoft have done with their 1 terabyte console they just announced.
I think a bundle is more likely than anything else. Like keeping the $400 price point, but adding like a game to it, maybe upgrading the hard drive to like a terabyte. I could see them doing that. But yeah, I agree. I don't think we're gonna get, like $300. What? Like it's $100 off to compete with what's their face, Microsoft.
Yeah, I mean that's the big thing. Like, I don't think that. I think that the Vita will barely be mentioned, if anything. It's just gonna be an announcement where it's like if it comes to PS4, then the PS Vita will be announced as well. But I think it's going to get completely scrapped. I don't think Sony have any interest in promoting the Vita anymore.
Yeah, let me just say straight up, Vita is. I mean, I don't think that's dead on arrival. That thing's just not. Yeah. It's not going to get any. Exactly what you just said. That's what they're going to mention. Like if there happens to be a port of a third-party game, they're going to mention it. That's all you're going to get.
And maybe a price drop. But I don't think they're going to bring that up.
Yeah. That would be after the show.
Yeah, when no one's there. Hey, PS Vita's dropped. And the guys, everyone's like, put the cameras back, and you just see like Andrew House being rushed off stage.
Like, Get him out of there. All right, I'm sorry. I just want to let people know. Legacy console. Ah.
Just gonna attach a Fulton to him. He just gets flown away out of E3.
That's so great. And then Kojima comes out. That's his
yeah.
like so great.
I am the new Sony CEO. It's just like what? Like everyone just like head explodes in the conference.
Like that's why he left Konami. It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, going to the third part, I think the PS4 is going to have a system update as well. There'll be something along the lines of that. I mean, they just did a Yukamara or whatever it's called lately, but I think there's going to be a big system update coming, and I think maybe PlayStation Now will come to the UK.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a big one. I think they're going to move PlayStation Now to the European market. That has to be announced because I'd be pretty surprised if they don't do that. But actually going to the beef of things, like more in the sense of third-party content, because the other conferences are holding it, I don't think we'll see much from Square. Maybe something from Ubisoft, maybe something from EA. But you know what? That's kind of good for me because it cuts out a lot of the bullshit that I don't want to see. Mm-hmm. Because normally they're there because they have exclusive content. It's like the Watch Dogs thing, 60 minutes of exclusive content for PlayStation owners or whatever bullshit it was. I don't really care about that. I think Arkham Knight will probably be on the stage. I think Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain will be on the stage. I'm calling it now.
I hope. Oh man.
I know the Phantom Pain has a trailer being shown at E3. The Japanese
one last. Wow.
I think the Japanese voice actor for Snake said that the Phantom Pain is at E3 with a new trailer.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, he tweeted that out today, saying that they're going to be there with a new trailer. So I'm definitely putting money it's going to be on PlayStation's conference, especially when they just announced the bundle last week for the console. Mm-hmm. That's coming to Europe and New Zealand and Australia. I think it's going to be huge news for them to really. I think they can't pass up the opportunity for Metal Gear to be on the stage one last time. Well, in terms of Kojima's name being on there, so that will be big news for them. I think other third-party games will turn up, whatever it is. It's going to be crap. I don't really give a shit. Some of it's whatever. I don't really give a shit about Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Like fuck that. But yeah, like the Phantom Pain, Batman, and then a few other games will be shown. And that'll probably be their third-party lineup that they're going to reveal. But I think the major announcement is going to be from first-party. Mm-hmm. I think everybody's been fucking, messing with their hands just thinking about what they're going to do. So you have to keep in mind that PlayStation do have E3, they have Gamescom a few months later, they have Paris... No, they're not at Gamescom, sorry. Forgot about that. They're not at Gamescom. They have E3 and then they have Paris Games Week later in the year.
Right.
So that's kind of like you have to weigh out what it is that's going to be there. So first party studios will be there.
I'm sorry, are they? You mentioned Tokyo Game Show? They do that too.
Yeah, but they don't really kind of like
announce major things, right?
Yeah, they don't. It's not really huge. The Japanese market is Japanese market. Like the big ones they want is E3, where it's predominantly the North American community and the rest of the world, and then you have Europe.
Right.
You know, that big stronghold, because he did say out earlier in the year, Andrew House, that he was very surprised with PS4 sales. It makes sense why they moved to Paris Games Week, even though Gamescom and Paris Games were the same continent. But I mean, they might have just seen a bit more of a blip in kind of like attendance and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
But so first party studios will be a big part of it. I know Uncharted is there. It's also Nathan Drake's final appearance at that conference.
Yep. Because they're getting an early 2016 release, right?
Well, Neil Druckmann tweeted out earlier in the week that it's going to be Nathan Drake's final appearance at E3.
Ooh.
And also, they have the Nathan Drake collection that was showing off as well. Was it last week that we kind of like looked into? I think they're going to reveal something else about that. But yeah, I think it's spring of 2016. Uncharted 4. A Thief's End. But yeah, so Uncharted will be shown in some kind of capacity. It'll probably be the remastered collection. I mean, this is the thing that a lot of the studios have been very quiet. Santa Monica, I don't think will be there with God of War. No chance. I think God of War 4, and whatever it's called, is going to be a long way off development. Supermassive Games.
No, sorry, I was going to say if we get anything God of War related, it would be like a CG teaser trailer at the bare minimum. Yeah, but no gameplay or even a release date.
If anything, it'll be God of War Remastered. the third one that they did.
Yeah.
That would probably be what would be shown, but I just don't think they're going to show anything of the new God of War. So they're not they'll be in the position that the Coalition are in now, with Gears of War. Next year, they might show a CG trailer.
Right,
during the conference, so nothing from them. And I just mean, like, the other thing will probably be, apart from Santa Monica, Supermassive Games might be there with Until Dawn. Until Dawn just have a release date. It might be on the show floor, or they might just show no trailer off. Don't know what's going to happen with that.
Actually, I see them. I don't think they are. Well, no, shit. You know what? They might be there. Because usually they're at Gamescom, but they're not. Yeah. But number one, the game's going to be out before Gamescom, and number two, I think so. And number two, they're not even at Gamescom.
Yeah, and it's out before Paris Games Week, so it makes sense for them to give a push.
That's true. They could do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Media Molecule will be there. I think they'll show off their new game.
I hope. I mean, they were. But that's another thing, man. I wanted your thoughts on this, and I was saving it for this episode. Remember when Media Molecule first announced, like, oh, we're working on a new game, and they didn't really say what it was, and for the PS4, and they were showing off how, like, they were experimenting with PlayStation Move and stuff like that, and they had that demo reel of how you could form something using PlayStation Move, and then it becomes, like, an object within the virtual world. Do you think PlayStation Move is 100% fully dead? Like, that's it? Like, Sony's not going to even make it a bonus feature? Or do you think that could be something that the new game could use? Because I was curious. I personally think it's dead, but I wanted your thoughts on it.
I was about to touch on this because it's going to lead into my next point. It's going to drift away a bit from the first party series. It's going to use Project Morpheus.
Oh, I could see that, yeah.
I think this is where Vita's time is dead and the Project Morpheus is going to be... E3 is going to be a big platform for them to sell Project Morpheus. Project Morpheus launches in 2016. They've got Paris Games Week, they've got PlayStation Experience, but they have to sell it at E3. Right. It has to take the show floor. A first-party studio, a big first-party studio, needs to be working on a game that uses VR technology. They can't use a separate, like, small independent studio that's located in London or something that is doing it. It has to be a big studio. Media Molecule have been messing around with PlayStation Move for a long time. And I can see that they probably killed that off and they were like, you know what, kill it off and we'll work on VR specifically. So I think that could take the stage in terms of where Morpheus is in the segments.
I think so too. It's going to end up becoming a tool for Morpheus. And you're right. And more than ever, they're probably going to have, like, different packs and stuff. Like, if you have the Move controllers already, or at least two of them or whatever, then you don't have to worry about... You could just get the Morpheus headset as is. And then they're going to do that. They're going to have so many bundle packs. Like, they'll probably have, like, a super-duper big one that comes with the PS4, with Project Morpheus. Yeah, dude, I could see Vita being buried and dead, and now they're just going to be focusing primarily... Like, the second tier is going to be Morpheus, for sure.
The thing is that you have to imagine that you need to sell Morpheus as an accessory.
Yeah.
Now, PlayStation 4 can be bundled with Morpheus to a new consumer base, but you already have 20 million people out there who already have a PlayStation 4. It's not like selling Kinect after the Xbox has come out. Well, They did do that, but I mean, like, and they're trying to force it on people on Xbox One. But you need to sell it to a consumer base. It has to be versatile. It has to be effective in price. I know a lot of people have had problems with, like, glasses and stuff. You can't really wear them when using the headset and just everything else, but they need to kind of get that selling point, and they need to show a big game off to show what it's capable of, because obviously you can keep teasing Oculus Rift, you can keep teasing Project Morpheus, but when people aren't getting that feel of what an AAA game is going to be on it, then you're not selling it.
Right.
It's the same with Vita. People are like, oh, the Vita's not dead. It has indie games, but the indie games only appeal to so many people.
Yeah.
Imagine your Demiograph. I mean, like, I was in a game shop a few weeks ago. I was listening to a mum and child, like, talk about games. They have no idea what they're talking about. They don't give a shit about indie games. They don't care about Limbo or Gone Home or anything like just spectacular art. They care about an AAA game. They'll pick up AAA games from Nintendo, you know, Mario and stuff like that, to look at interesting things. You have to look outside the core gaming fan base, because it is quite big, but it's not as big as the common market. That common market, it's like the same with films. Like, you know, you can sell Inception as complex as it is, but you have to appeal to the wider demographic of people, because there's no point in just doing it to a certain point. There's no point appealing to just the people who love Nolan's complex universe. You have to appeal to that wide spectrum of everyone. So that's why I think Project Morpheus will be a hard sell. I think it's going to be a tough sell, but I think they can do it as long as they give it support. It depends what kind of direction it's going to be. I think we're going to hit a lot more. They did touch on it at GDC, but it's not really. I think E3 is going to be a big platform to really get onto it.
Yeah.
And touch on it. I think Andrew House will talk about it quite a bit.
Andrew House.
That Andrew, I love his accent. He makes me feel so happy to be British. I'm like, oh.
He's a super charismatic guy. He's a cool guy.
I bet Americans must love his accent.
It's a cool one, man. I mean, I like your
cool,
accent, dude, but I like Andrew House's too. I mean, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I just love accents, period. I would love to learn how to do all of them, but I can't even learn one of them, so.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm looking at our list here just to make sure. Did we cover the Uncharted collection?
We touched on it briefly,
Okay.
just about Drake appearing.
But yeah,
there will be. I'm surprised they announced that beforehand. Maybe they just didn't want to.
It's going to be their lead-in. Like they'll probably have like an Uncharted area where they'll probably have first the what's it called, the Uncharted 4 playthrough, like a new build that they'll show off, a new stage. They'll probably show off our beautiful friend, the voice of Joel. What's his fuck? I always forget his name.
Troy Baker.
Yeah, they'll have a Troy Baker segment in the game now. Where he's Nate's brother now, right, in the game.
Yeah.
That they revealed. So they're totally gonna show off that, and then right afterwards, for those of you who don't know, Uncharted: The Nathan Drake Collection was announced. So they're gonna totally touch on that a little bit because the beta is gonna be included in there. So
I think they might not said anything about it at E3 because the Nathan Drake Collection, the Master Chief Collection. You see the similarities.
Yeah.
Maybe people just think that they're copying or something, and just like, it's kind of a little bit. I don't know why they call it the Nathan Drake Collection. They should call it the Uncharted Collection.
It'd be hilarious, man, if PlayStation announces, like, remember we were talking about the price cut and how they're probably not going to do a price cut, but a bundle is, they might do a bundle. How funny would it be for $400 you get a PS4 with a 1 terabyte hard drive and the Nathan Drake Collection thrown in? Like, that would be the exact same thing as Microsoft. I would lol. I would literally lol. I would laugh out loud if that happened. That would be so funny, dude. Like, the same thing, just the Sony version. The Sony flavor,
The Sony exclusive. Because it's obviously not an exclusive. Yeah, so that is a big news. I don't think they wanted to take the time on E3 to kind of like talk about it.
Right.
I think it was just really eating up a lot of time where people don't really give a shit about it. And I think people are getting fed up with remastered collections as they are. Because I just think that it's good, but it's not really that. I mean, like, that's why my kind of argument supporting just Gears 1 being remastered makes sense, because it is 10 years old next year. If this was just Uncharted 1 being remastered, maybe it's a bit different. Just for like kind of continuity wise and whatever else. But I mean, like, my kind of justification, I agree with the Gears 1 being remastered for the sake of what it is. These can be, if you want, I just think that they're kind of draining service on PlayStation Now, because it makes no sense even having PlayStation Now if you're remastering everything. But back on first party, I think I'm losing my voice. Back on first party studios, I think they have a lot more. They have to fill in that gap of the holiday season. Yes, the Uncharted collection is coming out in the holiday season, but you are competing with Halo and Tomb Raider. And everyone's played Uncharted. Well, the majority of people have played Uncharted, so you can't really sell it. Obviously, the multiplayer beta is going to be a big thing. And as expected, I even said last week when the Gears collection would have Gears of War beta multiplayer.
Oh, right.
If there is one, you have to sell it with another point, like, for what it is. But yeah, there'll be other studios. My big one is I hope David Cage is there. I even told Chris to do a trailer where it shows Shu Yoshida walking up to the cage of like a mug, and he rattles a cage, and David Cage wakes up, and you just see his eyes. It's like, David Cage, wake up, and you just see the hashtag Don't Rattle the Cage 2015, fulfilling my prophecy. And Chris's prophecy as well. David Cage.
Yeah. I would. Oh, man. Anything with Cage in it would be so fucking lovely.
Yeah. I don't know if he'll take the stage at E3, and I said this to you a few months ago just because they're at Paris Games Week, and Quantic Dream is French-based. And I feel like it's just more of a perfect time to get David Cage out at Paris Games Week and just get him to talk. I don't know. Maybe they might be there. I hope they are there. I do want to see what Quantic Dream are up to. I fucking love Quantic Dream. Regardless of what people say, and like, I love my Jasons and my Seans and everyone else, They're all great.
That's so great.
Yeah, so I still love it. It's like, Jason!
Jason!
Yeah, Jason! Sean!
It should be him yelling through the cage. Jason! You're just like, what's going on with David Cage? We should probably wrap all this up lest we go over time. But I did want to also bring up that Sony has a couple of other announcements they made prior to E3. So they just announced a new Ratchet & Clank game.
Yeah,
that's going to be coming out.
This was my E3 prediction that they would be there.
Yeah.
It's a time movie. What has actually happened beforehand, which kind of makes it annoying.
It's annoying. I mean, they also said it's coming out spring 2016, so it's not a current thing. Let me just say straight up, this game looks amazing. Like, it really looks like a Pixar movie. And that's giving it a tremendous compliment. I mean, I can't believe this is a video game. It looks fascinating. So definitely give them credit for that. The game looks fantastic and beautiful 1080p. And then also Sony, this is a rumor actually, not an announcement, but there's a big rumor that apparently the PS4 architect, Mark Cerny, is heading up development on The Last Guardian, which in itself is actually rumored to be making an appearance at E3, which I'm a little bit hesitant on. I don't think it's going to happen.
And yeah, Half-Life 3 will be confirmed at Microsoft's conference.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. I would love it to happen, but I don't see it happening.
I don't understand the hype behind The Last Guardian now, because even if it is announced, it will never live up to the hype.
Mm-hmm.
The hype is almost like godlike. It's like mythology. It's like, Solid Snake, all of his missions in Zanzibar and Outer Haven, like when you play the first MGS and like, you're a legend, in the eyes of everyone. It's like that. It's like almost elevating to like a legendary status of what it is. And even if it does come out, it might not even be able to ever live up to that expectation.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could happen. I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen. It would come out this year. Mm-hmm. Like if they announced it, the release date would be this window. It would be the 2015. Yeah, it'd be the holiday for 2015 window. There is no point in marketing this game.
Oh,
it is literally.
I think it'll be at the earliest next year. To be honest,
I just don't think they could market it at all. I think it's just it's out. It has to be like Fallout. Fallout will have to come out this year. Bethesda just don't market shit. They don't polish games. They're just going to get it out. Once they made that one announcement that Fallout 4 is coming, why would you keep marketing it?
Mm-hmm.
I just think The Last Guardian doesn't need any more marketing. Everyone in the gaming spectrum knows what The Last Guardian is. I think people who don't know what gaming is know what The Last Guardian is, just because it's been talked about so much. Is it impossible for it to be announced? No. Will it happen? Might happen. If it did, it would close the stage. That's my prediction. It'd have to close the stage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That'd be the best closer of the whole show. I mean, that would be that would be something that people talk about for years. Like, man, and at E3 2013, The Last Guardian came back.
Yeah, but the thing is, it would overtake Morpheus's, presence at the show. Mm-hmm. Like, Morpheus's presence would go down with Last Guardian ending the show. I think they're going to try and end it with Morpheus. Morpheus has to be a selling point for them. They have to market it now. There's a year away from its release. They do have Paris Games Week, they have PlayStation Experience, but they need to get to the point now. They're going to keep marketing. They have to market it. This is the future of gaming. This is what we're up to. Here's Media Molecule of a game. Maybe other studios are going to use it, etc., etc. So, we're far away from. I think Sony will announce a lot of things like new features, new apps. I think new apps will come to the PlayStation dashboard. I think it needs revamping, that dashboard. I hate how unorganized it is. The homepage. Do you get that feel? PlayStation 4 games going across.
To be honest, more so with Xbox One than PS4. I actually like I think the Xbox One's like the way they have everything set up is just complete dog shit. I don't like their OS.
No, I mean,
but I could see them tidying it up for sure.
Yeah, I like the simplicity of the interface. I want to keep that. It's just like when you're in the homepage, it has all the games, and when you play a new game, it knocks the other one into the library. Mm-hmm. You have to go all the way to the end, access at the library. It just kind of makes it all sloppy a little bit. I do like how simplistic the interface is. That I just think it needs tweaking here and there. That's one of the main things for them. I no price cut, no console redesign. The console is already very sleek as it is. Maybe the 1 terabyte will be announced. I think a console redesign will happen next year, or an announcement of a console redesign.
I'm not sure, but I mean, maybe. Yeah, I could see. I mean, that would be what at that point, 13, 14. That'd be 3 years later.
Yeah,
possible. I mean, it's a...
and then it'd come out in the holiday, so it's even more months added onto it.
Yeah. I could definitely see that as a possibility. Yeah.
I mean, I think it wouldn't necessarily be a huge redesign. It'd be like things shifting here and there, and obviously, I mean, the fan is really fucking loud on it.
Yeah.
It warms up the room very fast. Like, it almost becomes an inferno if you're in a small room. But there are things that can change it. I think the big thing is the console, like a controller redesign and getting rid of the fucking light bar. Cool idea, and I like it, but it's also draining the living shit out of the battery life.
Yeah, it's killing it.
I had to buy a new DualShock 4. I think they need to get the grips better because mine have ripped. I had to get new, like, kind of replacement ones.
Yeah, my thumbsticks are pretty shredded at this point.
Yeah, I need to send you a link to the ones I've got, the new rubber grips. They're fucking fantastic. Bought them for like £2.
Oh, damn, nice.
I got like 6 as well. But yeah, I think it's going to be great. I think even if they do fuck all, I think that is going to be a great show. Just in how Sony build up to it and how they, just everything about it. They always kind of make a big fuss out of it. They got all out. Same with the PlayStation Experience last year. They went all out to make it this great show. But regardless, I mean, 2:45 at night, it's going to be hard work for me to stay up, but I'll have to give it a shot to see if any predictions come true or anything. I hope David Cage said that. It'll make my life.
Get some of that coffee, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Get that coffee brewing. But all right, I think we definitely should wrap it up. But all right, guys, that is it for this week's episode. On a side note, I'm very curious to see how our predictions are going to be. Yeah, I guess we'll find out. It's just a week away. It's crazy. But anyway, guys, be sure to follow the Gamer Headline Show on Twitter at TGH Show, or like our Facebook page, The Gamer Headline Show, for up-to-date episodes from Gamer Headlines' official podcast. Additionally, The Gamer Headline Show can be found on Podbean, Stitcher, iTunes, YouTube, Dailymotion, and of course, right here, as always, on GamerHeadlines.com. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you next week at the excitement that is E3 2015.
Oh, yeah. See you later, guys.